What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be continuing the season 1 review of Heartstopper. Also, on the day I'm filming this, October 3rd is the day that season 3 comes out, so I will in fact be torturing myself by not watching it until I finish the review for season 1 and 2. So today we're going to be reviewing episodes 3 and 4 of season 1. Honestly, my last one got more views than I thought it would, so thank you for everyone who watched and liked. So yeah, we're going to be continuing the review today, and we're going to be going over episode 3 and 4. So that's pretty much it for this intro, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So if you remember where we left off on episode 2, at the end, Nick had came home and was kind of looking through him and Charlie's pictures from the other day when he came to his house. And then he ended up going to his laptop and looking up an Am I Gay quiz. Now we opened up episode 3 with him scoring the internet, searching the internet, looking for signs that he might be gay. When he took his I Am Gay quiz, it came to a 62%, which I'm just now realizing is above 50%, which is kind of crazy. But those Am I Gay quizzes are so ridiculous, because how do you put a percentage on being gay? You know what I mean? Like, I get, you know, how bisexual people are like 60-40, I like men 60% and women 40%. Like, I get that. But if you're like gay or lesbian, how do you put a percentage on that? I get that sexuality is like a spectrum, but percentage wise is like a little ridiculous. So you already know that these Am I Gay quizzes are like not really legit. So moving on from this scene, the next day at school, Nick gets invited to Harry's 16th birthday party.
What's up? It's also quite a party, man. Party? My 16th birthday party. St. George's Hotel this Saturday. You're gonna be there.
Yeah, sounds good.
You better bring some cool people with you as well.
And Imogen takes this opportunity to slide in and ask if Nick is going to invite her.
You gonna invite me?
Only if you're cool enough, apparently.
Do you not think I'm cool, Nick Nelson?
Fine, I guess I can invite you, Imogen.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though she was probably already invited because she's a part of that friend group, it's very clear and obvious that Imogen likes Nick, so she takes any opportunity to talk to him or mess with him or anything like that. So during rugby practice, the rugby team is talking about Harry's party, and somehow in the conversation it comes up that Tara is gonna be there and that Nick should totally make a move on her. And they're talking about it like he's not literally in the locker room with him.
You know Tara Jones is gonna be there. Mate, she's great. And Nick is gonna have his pick of 2 girls. Who's the other? Imogen, obviously, everyone knows she fancies it.
Yeah, what?
Nothing. We're talking about Tara Jones. Apparently she's gonna be at Harry's party.
Also, Charlie is there with him, so Charlie's hearing all this too, but like the two boys talking about it are right next to Nick. It's not like they're across the locker room, and Nick is like, okay, like what about her? And Harry likes to, it's not necessarily make fun of him, but tease him about the fact that he might have a potential crush on Tara.
Just thought you might be interested, mate.
Didn't you have some childhood romance thing with her? We don't have a thing, we just kissed at a party one time.
Charlie's just kind of sitting there listening, kind of feeling uncomfortable because he still doesn't really know anything about Nick's sexuality. He's like kind of going back and forth between he might like me and he might not. So eventually Nick just kind of brushes it off and he's like, yeah, like maybe we'll talk or whatever, kind of just to shut the conversation down. To Charlie, this comes across as like, oh yeah, maybe I'll talk to her, maybe he might like her. So then we move on from this scene, and in form, it might be the same day, it might be a different day, Nick is in form and Charlie walks in and he says hi to Nick, and he notices Nick seems like kind of nervous about something, so he's like looking at him, and then Nick asks him,
Do you want to go to Harry's party? With me?
Obviously Charlie is a little hesitant at first because the rugby team, well, not the rugby team, but some of the rugby team plus Harry, you know, don't like him. They still make fun of him for being gay and stuff, so he's like, why would I want to go to Harry's birthday party? He's like the main one that bullies me. He doesn't say this, but I imagine in his head he's like, you're inviting me to Harry's birthday party? Like, yeah, you're crazy. So at first he tries to kind of decline.
I don't know, it doesn't really sound like my sort of thing.
Please come. I want you to be there.
Which is just like, I just love the romance trope when two people obviously like each other, but like it's oblivious to the other person, you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's so cute. So obviously Charlie accepts because Nick wants him to be there, and why would he not want to spend more time with Nick, even if it's at the cost of him getting bullied even more. Later on that day, when Charlie goes home, he immediately texts his friends telling him that Nick invited him to go to Harry's birthday party. Now Elle is obviously excited for him. She's like, oh my god, that's so amazing, like, so good for you. Tao, on the other hand, gets upset because the party happens to land on the day of their film night. Now Elle, being the voice of reason, steps in and is just like, bro, I understand Tao so much, because even though in my last review I was like, Tao is annoying me, but you know, I get him in this scene, because when your best friend starts to, it's a number of reasons why he's feeling this way, but I feel like the number one reason is when you have a best friend that you spend all of your time with, and like you're pretty much inseparable or whatever. When that friend starts to indulge in somebody else, whether it be another friend or a relationship or something like that, it can feel a lot like abandonment. I think I talked about this in another one of my reviews or another one of my videos, but it can feel a lot like abandonment, and like they're choosing that person over you, because I firsthand have dealt with this, and to be honest, I'm still kind of dealing with it. I can understand Tao full-heartedly in this scene, because, you know, he's probably thinking that Charlie purposefully chose to go to the party over the film night, when in actuality Charlie probably honestly just forgot, because he's so excited about his crush on Nick and excited that Nick invited him to go to Harry's party because he wants him to be there. Isaac, Isaac is indifferent to it. Like, Isaac really doesn't care either way. Like, he likes the fact that Charlie is indulging in this crush on Nick, but to be honest, I feel like he could care less. Like, he really just doesn't care. Now, Elle being the voice of reason is good, because I'm glad there's at least one person in the friend group that is like cheering him on and being like, yeah, you should totally go. Like, this is, you know, this is good for you. Like, this is great. So once Harry's party comes around, Charlie gets dropped off by his dad. His dad tells him he's going to pick him up at 10. So Charlie's walking in by himself, and I was nervous for him in this scene, because can you imagine going to a party, specifically a house party, even though there's a ton of people, which probably made it worse, but walking into a party by yourself is the most social anxiety inducing thing ever. Like, I can't imagine. I've never had to do it, because whenever I've gone to a party or anything like that, I've always had friends with me. So him just walking in here by himself is like really terrifying, like I can imagine. So once he gets there, he's looking for Nick, and Nick is talking to his friends, but you can obviously tell that he's looking for Charlie too. And once they find each other, they run up to each other and they're like,
I've been looking for you.
that is just the cutest scene I've ever seen in my life. Like, the fact that they're so excited to see each other, because Nick really did want him there, because Nick doesn't even like his friends, and we find this out. I mean, we know this like kind of from the beginning, like if it wasn't obvious, because his friends are total douchebags, but like he doesn't like his friends. He hangs out with them because like they're on the same team, and he's like, yeah, why not? But like Charlie is just so different from them, and his mom brought this up too, that he's like, yeah, I would rather spend my time with you, but we will get into that later. Now these scenes kind of interchange between each other, so we're kind of going to be going back and forth a bit. So once Elle arrives at Tao's house for film night, we see, and this is so cute, we see that Elle and Tao's mom have such a cute relationship. Like, Tao's mom loves her dearly, and I just think that is so cute.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's Miss Kitty Lowe, my darling.
Hi, Dad.
Mum, she said to see me.
Oh, but I miss her so much.
Elle comes, they go upstairs, they're looking for a movie, and Tao expresses to Elle that he wishes that their film nights were like old times.
Can't we just watch something funny?
I thought we were having a film night.
Yeah, a fun one.
I just wanted it to be like old times.
Well, it's not old times anymore.
meaning that he wishes that everyone was there and like, you know, he just wishes it was old times because things are obviously changing within their friend group, which once again, I have and am still dealing with right now. So I can totally understand him during this. Wanting things to be like they were within your friend group, like that is so real. Isaac ends up canceling coming to the film night because he's sick.
Oh,
Just us then?
just us?
So going back to Harry's party, Nick and Charlie are on this couch, you know, talking, blah, 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 like just talking about random things. And Harry comes up to Nick and is like,
What's some important news for you?
Yeah, what?
Tara Jones is here.
So what?
This is your big second chance, mate. Let's make it happen. They kissed when they were 13. Proper romantic. You should go for it, right?
they keep bringing up the point that they think he has a crush on her because they kissed one time when they were 13. And that is just really crazy to me because I'm just like, bro, 13? Like, what? Like, it just baffles me because he's like, they kissed one time when they were 13. And I'm like, okay? Like, bro, it's just really baffling to me. So he ends up forcing Nick to go talk to Tara. And Tara's just as confused as Nick. But she's polite, you know, she talks to him. She's like, hi, how are you? Now, on the other hand, we see Charlie kind of in the background watching them talk. And he's a little bit, I guess, upset, for lack of better words, because one, he still doesn't know whether Nick really likes Tara or not, even though I feel like his body language really gives off all the answer you need. But Charlie being, you know, gay, he doesn't really want to assume Nick's sexuality, so he ends up, once he sees them talking, he ends up giving them some space and trying to go find the bathroom. Now going back to the film night, so Tao expresses to Elle that he's angry that Charlie chose to go to Harry's party.
Charlie's changing.
What do you mean?
He's gone to one of Rich Boy Harry's parties, for God's sake. Last year he would have rather died than go to one of those.
And Elle, being the voice of reason, is just like,
Well, I don't think he's there to see Harry, to be honest.
but Tao is just really, you know, upset because he's like,
It doesn't matter why he's there. He should be here with his actual friends.
because at this point, Tao still doesn't really trust Nick because he's still a rugby player, and the rugby players are the ones that bully Charlie the most, which I get. You know, he doesn't know Nick. You know, he hasn't gotten to know them. He doesn't want to get to know him. Like, I totally get this. So he still thinks that Nick is probably playing a joke on Charlie, like pretending to like him. Elle is like trying so hard to reason with him, and she's just like,
Well, I think Nick is his friend.
Oh, so you're on his side?
Tao, there aren't any sides. Let's just stop talking about this.
Fine.
So going back to Harry's party, Tara and Nick are talking, and like Nick tells Tara, like, I don't know why they want me to talk to you so bad. It's because like we kissed that one time when we were 13. And she's like, yeah, I know, like, blah, blah, blah. And then she ends up telling him,
All of this could have been avoided if I just
What?
told everyone I was a lesbian.
and at first Nick thinks she's like joking about like lying about being lesbian. And he's like,
Yeah, but I guess that's not something you really want to lie about.
Wouldn't be a lie.
What? Oh, you actually are.
and she ends up telling him,
I've mostly been keeping quiet.
So why are you telling me?
Me and Darcy have been talking, and honestly, we feel like we don't need to keep it that quiet anymore.
You mean like come out?
Not necessarily. We don't want to make a big announcement or anything, but maybe just not hide so much.
Nick obviously, you know, going through the same thing, not necessarily like being in a relationship or keeping it quiet, but questioning his sexuality is like, you know, that's really cool. And it's just I really love, and like we see more of their friendship in season 2, but I really love, or we see more of their friendship in this season 2, but we see in future episodes that, you know, she's there for him when he's questioning his sexuality and stuff like that. So I just really love, I think their friendship is a bit underrated. I love their friendship a lot. Once Nick and Tara are done talking, she goes to dance with Darcy, and Nick turns around to find Charlie, but he sees that he's gone. So then he's about to walk away to go find him, but then Harry spots him alone. He's like,
Nick, where you going?
I'm just gonna go find Charlie.
What, that nerdy little year 10? Why do you even hang out with him?
He's my friend.
But why?
like, I, for the love of God, would love to know what Harry's problem is. I still haven't figured it out. Even in season 2, I'm like, I don't know what his deal is. Maybe he's just a homophobic douchebag, but I don't know. Like, he's just really weird for some reason. So he ends up making fun of Nick for being friends with Charlie.
Do you feel sorry for him because he's gay? Oh my god, nah, wait. Do you think he has a crush on you? Oh my god, how sad.
So Nick finally standing up for him, not for himself, but to his friends, he calls Harry out on his, behavior. And he's like,
That's homophobic, Harry.
bro, I love seeing like bullies get so deflated when someone calls them out on their behavior, because you could like, it's so visceral. His behavior, his body language is like uncomfortable, and he's like,
Come on, mate.
I really don't like you. Happy birthday.
like, bro, yes, like, please, oh my gosh, because I was like, bro, when is he gonna call his friends out on their behavior? Because that's what real friends do. If your friend is doing something that is mean or homophobic or whatever it is, and you know it's not right, call them out on it. And if that tells you everything you need to know, the way they respond to you calling them out on it tells you everything they need to know. If they own up to it and they're like, you're right, like, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have said that, then you know that they're a good person and you should stay friends with them. But if you call them out on it and they're like, bro, I was just joking, like, take a joke, bye. Like, cut them off. They don't need to be your friend. And I think Nick finally realizes that he doesn't want to be friends with these people anymore if they're gonna bully someone for being gay, for being themselves. Like, crazy. While Charlie has run off to go find the bathroom or whatever, he runs into none other than Ben. Once Ben sees him, he's like, I don't know, Ben is so crazy to me because he never really apologized, or like, he apologizes for his behavior, but then he ends up like insulting Charlie in the meantime.
Look, I'm sorry about what happened, okay? Have you finished sulking about it?
Like, what? That's not even a real apology, because you just said, are you done sulking about it? Like, please, like, oh my god. I was so proud of Charlie in this scene because, he's about to walk away and he's like,
Do not touch me!
Ben is like stunned because, like, I guess he wasn't expecting Charlie to stand up for himself because, last time he tried, like, Nick ended up coming to like save him. But he stood up for himself in that scene too when Nick came to save him. While all this is going on, Nick has like left his friends and he's running around trying to find Charlie. Going back to the film night with Tao and Elle, Tao obviously feels bad for kind of like bringing up the fact that he thinks their friend group is falling apart, so he apologizes for that. So Tao then asks Elle,
Can we promise that, like, no matter what happens, we'll always prioritize our friendship?
Sounds a bit dramatic.
No, I'm serious. Like, no matter what changes, we always put our friendship first.
Promise.
it's obvious that Tao and Elle have a very special friendship that, obviously turns into something else. But you don't know that. We get into that. I think it's like later. It's later in this season that we get into that. Back to Harry's party. While Nick is running around trying to find Charlie, he's like looking in the bathrooms. He can't find him anywhere. He ends up walking onto the dance floor where Imogen is. Now Imogen stops him and is like,
Sorry, I have to go. I was just looking for someone.
No, stay with me. I want to hang out with you. Do you like me?
What?
I really like you, Nick. You don't have to reply right now, I just wanted you to know.
and this scene gives me so much secondhand embarrassment because it's just like so obvious that Nick, not that he doesn't care about her, but he doesn't, like her in that way. And she is like so oblivious to it. I hate this scene because I stand strong on the fact that I will never tell someone that I like them first, because I've had very bad experiences with it. I've told people I like them first and I always come out of the other side of it feeling embarrassed and them not reciprocating my feelings. So when I see this scene, I see so much of myself in like middle/high school, and I just like, I hurt. My heart hurts for her because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm glad that she wasn't embarrassed when she told him. Like, after the fact, she was like very happy that she told him, which I'm like, okay, good. Like, I don't know. It's very hard to explain. I don't know. I just get so much secondhand embarrassment because I see so much of myself in that scene when I was younger, and I'm like, ugh, like, I really don't like it. Once Nick finds Charlie, he ends up finding him in the place that he they first ended up, which is on the couch. So he finds him. He was like, oh my god, I've been looking for you. And Charlie's like, I'm sorry, like I saw you talking to Tara, and like your like friends are like really intimidating. And Nick ends up telling him that he doesn't think he wants to hang out with his friends anymore because he finally sees that their behavior is not okay. Then Charlie goes on to tell him that he ran into Ben and that he handled the situation, and Nick is like, I'm so proud of you. So after all this, Nick asks if he wants to go somewhere quieter because it's like really, really loud in there and they can't talk. They end up racing upstairs and finding this empty room. So once they're in this room, this scene I think is like the buildup of the entire episode. They're in this room. They end up sitting down to like catch their breath because they raced all the way to the room. And Charlie ends up asking Nick,
Was Harry being serious? Do you like Tara?
and Nick kind of looks at him like it should have been obvious due to his like body language every time they brought her up, but he's like,
What? No. No, definitely not.
and so Charlie's like,
So you don't have a crush on anyone at the moment?
and then Nick kind of takes a second to think about it, and he's like,
Well, I didn't say that.
and so Charlie is instantly disappointed because he assumes that it's a girl. So he's like,
What's she like then?
You're just gonna assume they're a she.
Are they not a girl?
I don't think Nick regrets that he said that, but I think he's still confused about his sexuality, so he doesn't quite know what to say. Charlie goes on to ask him,
Would you go out with someone who wasn't a girl?
Nick is, you know, like I said, he's still confused, so he's like,
I don't know. Maybe.
so then Charlie asks him if,
Would you kiss someone who wasn't a girl?
I don't know.
and then Charlie asks him if,
Would you kiss me?
so then Nick says yes. And they end up kissing.
Yeah.
And like the first kiss is like really sweet and like innocent, but then Nick ends up grabbing his hand and they kiss again. And every time I see this scene, I like melt because I'm like, this is so cute. Like, when is it my turn? That's my question. When is it my turn? After this, Nick is obviously very like confused and like scared. I don't know, like, for lack of better words, he's like scared because he's just like, oh my gosh. Harry comes upstairs looking for Nick, so Nick like quickly gets up and like runs out of the room and doesn't say anything to Charlie. And this leaves Charlie to believe that he messed things up with Nick and like he shouldn't have kissed him. So by this time, it's time for Charlie to go home. So his dad's outside, so he, you know, goes to his dad's car and like gets in, and his dad obviously sees that something's wrong, so he's like,
Hey. Hey, you okay? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I got you. I got you. Everything's gonna be okay.
I love his dad. Like, I love his dad in this scene because he, you know, comforts him without even asking what happened, like what's wrong. He just knows that his son needs comfort in that moment. After this, we see Nick talking to Harry, and this scene with Harry and his friends talking to Nick is really weird. Like, it's just like them in an empty room and them surrounding Harry and Nick, and Harry being like, yeah, man, you know, like, it was just banter, like, blah, blah, blah. His accent is so funny. Every time I hear him talk, I just laugh because the way he talks is so funny. He's like, yeah, man, it was just banter, like, you were just in a mood for real. Like, Nick obviously not caring, like, at this point he just wants to get back to Charlie, so he's like, yeah, like, it was just banter, I was in a mood, yeah, I'm gonna go find the bathroom real quick. He ends up running out to go find Charlie to see if he's still in the room, and by the time he gets there, like, he's not in there anymore. So the next day, I think by this time it's the weekend, Charlie is at home. He wakes up in the morning and he checks his phone for messages hoping that Nick might have texted him, and he didn't. So obviously now, even more than ever, he thinks that he messed things up with Nick. He gets up and he's in the bathroom brushing his teeth, and there's a knock at the door. And so his mom is like, Charlie, can you get the door? He's like, yeah, okay, I'll get it. So then he runs downstairs expecting it to be the mailman. He ran all the way home in the rain to come to Charlie to talk to him about what happened. If he wanted to, he would. That's all I'm gonna say. Because what do you mean he ran all the way from his house to Charlie's house in the rain to talk to him in person, instead of just sending a text being like, I'm sorry about last night? If he wanted to, he would. That's all I'm gonna say. That's how episode 3 ends, and it's just like, what? Like, oh my gosh. I love this episode because I'm honestly shocked that the kiss happened in the 3rd episode. I don't know why I was so shocked. I was like, no way they're gonna kiss in episode 3. They did. We're gonna move straight into episode 4. We open up episode 4 the same way we ended episode 3, with Nick standing in Charlie's doorway, drenched with rain. So they end up going to Charlie's room to talk about the whole thing. And this scene, I love the communication in this scene because it's so easy. Like we saw at the end of episode 3, it's so easy for miscommunications to come about due to just body language. Like Nick running out of the room without saying anything. Obviously, Charlie's gonna think, dang, like I just messed that up. So the communication in this scene is just so good. Like I love it so much. So they're in his room and Nick is about to go and say something to Charlie, but Charlie beats him to it.
So, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't think properly about what I was doing, and it was a stupid thing to do, and I don't want you to feel awkward about it because it was all my fault.
Charlie, hang on.
I shouldn't have kissed you. But you just felt pressured to do it because I asked, and I know you probably don't want to talk to me ever again, but I at least had to say sorry. See if maybe there's a chance we can still be friends.
Charlie.
I don't want to lose you because I did something stupid.
Charlie.
And he ends up, going up to him and kissing him again, just to show him that, like, he didn't regret what he did. After this, Nick goes to sit on Charlie's bed, and he's just like,
I'm just so sorry I ran away last night. I was just freaking out because I was confused and surprised, and, like, honestly, I'm having a proper full-on gay crisis.
I love when he's like, I'm having a proper full-on gay crisis. Like, the scene isn't funny, but just the way he says it makes me giggle every time I see it, because I'm like, that's real. So he explains the whole thing, saying like,
And it's not that I didn't want to, kiss you. I was just so confused. I just think I need some time to figure this out.
Charlie being very understanding because he, probably went through the same thing. He goes and like comforts Nick and hugs him and like, just to let him know. He doesn't even say anything, which this is so important because I feel like a lot of people think when someone's venting to you about something, they have to say something or give you advice. When in some cases, you don't even need to say anything. You just need to sit there and listen and let them know that you're there for them and like comfort them. Which I love that Charlie, which is not in his character too, but I'm glad that Charlie didn't try to be like, oh yeah, I get it, I went through the same thing. Like, he didn't even say anything. He was just like, it's okay. And he like hugged him. Like, I love that. So after their conversation, they go downstairs and Nick is about to leave. And before he leaves, Nick asks Charlie if
At school, is it okay if we, like,
Keep this a secret.
yeah. I just don't really know if I can, come out as anything.
which is totally understandable because like he just started questioning his sexuality. Charlie obviously understands this and he's like, yeah, totally. But I think in the back of his mind, he's kind of nervous because Ben was pretty much the same situation. He was like questioning his sexuality and he wanted to keep their situation a secret. So once Nick leaves, Charlie's kind of standing there and he gets the courage to run after him in the rain and like kiss him.
Don't forget something. Yeah.
And they're just the cutest thing that has ever happened to me. Like it just shows the like innocence of like new love, because I personally think having a crush is a special form of torture. I hate having crushes, honestly, but they make it seem so cute and fun just because now he knows that Nick reciprocates his feelings. But I hate having crushes. Like, it's actually torture. The next school day at Higgs, Tara's kind of looking at Darcy, and Darcy's like,
What? Oh, hi.
Hi.
you finally see them starting to be more public about their relationship, which is just so cute. I love it. I love that they don't have to hide their relationship anymore, or they don't want to hide their relationship anymore. They're starting to be more open about it. But this obviously comes with not consequences, but people's opinions. So now the new hot topic at Higgs is Tara and Darcy's relationship, and they talk about seeing them kiss at Harry's birthday party, which I totally forgot to mention in episode 3. Elle tries to convince them that, you know, it's gonna die down, it's just like new information, and it's just making them uncomfortable because they have so many new opinions on their relationship, which people are gonna talk regardless, but that doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't make them uncomfortable. At Truman, the all-boys school, Nick and Charlie decide to have lunch together for the first time, and they have it in Mr. Ajayi's, I think I'm saying that right, Mr. Ajayi's class, which is his art teacher. I love how supportive he is of Charlie. I love Mr. Ajayi. So they have lunch together in his art teacher's room, and Nick asks him, like, are you sure your friends are okay with, you know, you ditching them to have lunch with me? And Charlie's like, yeah, like, they'll be fine. Little does he know, Tao was like throwing a fit.
I bet Charlie's eating lunch with Nick again. He's been eating lunch with him a lot. It's not even like they're dating. Look at them. It's a bad idea to even walk near them, let alone actually befriend one of them.
So, you know, Nick tells him it feels nice to finally get away from his friends because, like, all they do is bully people and, like, throw stuff at people, and it's just really annoying because they're just menaces. Like, who knows why. So then Nick asks Charlie, like, are they even allowed to have lunch in his art teacher's room? And Charlie tells him that
I used to come here a lot last year, like when the bullying was really bad. Mr. Ajayi was the only teacher who really cared that much. I told him about the Ben making me keep us a secret thing.
You can see on Nick's face this kind of hits a nerve because he asks Charlie to keep their situation a secret. And Charlie quickly goes to comfort him. He's like,
I mean, that's nothing like what we're doing. You're nothing like him. This is completely different.
So going back to Higgs, like I said, people are talking about Tara and Darcy's relationship. So then Imogen comes up to Tara and Darcy during lunch, and she asks Tara,
Tara, I need to talk to you.
Oh, God. Hi, Imogen. What's up?
1 minute I hear you and Nick Nelson are a thing. The next I hear you're kissing some girl at Harry's party.
and Darcy is kind of like,
Tara literally kisses her girlfriend at a crowded party. And people are still asking her if she's dating a guy she kissed once when she was 13.
which I'm like, thank you. Like, someone is finally seeing how ridiculous this is. Because I'm like, she kissed Nick one time when they were 13. And people are automatically like, oh yeah, they're together. They like each other. Like, Darcy is real. Because I'm like, finally someone brings up how freaking ridiculous that is. So then Imogen is like, okay.
All right, fine. I was just asking. Like, just so you know, me and Nick are basically together, so I just needed to check.
And I'm like, are you crazy? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's really giving desperate. And I don't hate Imogen, like, at all. Like, I don't dislike her, but I'm like, girl, you have to pick up the hint at some point. Like, you have to see that the man does not want you. Like, really? Like, please. Then she's like just double checking, and she's like, so you guys aren't a thing? And Tara's like, I'm a lesbian. And she's like, okay, like, yeah, I was just asking. And then she feels the need, which I don't know why people do this. I don't know why, but she feels the need to be like,
I'm not, like, homophobic. I'm an ally.
congratulations.
We thank you for your service.
Thank you. That really, you know, I was so panicked ridden about you being homophobic, but now I know you're an ally. Everything is right with the world. Like, I don't know why people do that. It's like really. So then we're skipping to the first rugby game, or their first rugby game against a different school. Unfortunately for Charlie, he has to play in this game because one of their team members had an unavoidable dentist appointment. So Charlie tells Nick that his friends are coming to see him play, and Nick is like a little nervous about this. And Charlie's like, you know, I won't tell them, you know, that, like, they're totally cool, like it's whatever. So then once Charlie's friends get there, Darcy immediately is on Charlie and she's like,
You know, you and Nick Nelson are looking suspiciously coupley.
Oh my god, please ignore her.
We're friends. He's my friend.
We're friends as in friends, or friends as in friends? Darcy.
and I'm just like, dang, like her gaydar is on point. I mean, Charlie obviously not able to say anything about their situation. It's just like, no, like I promise we're just friends. And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, why? Like, are there rumors? And she's like, no, just my like gay intuition. And he's like, no, I promise we're just totally platonic friends. During the game, they're playing, it starts raining. So due to the rain or whatever, Charlie ends up, well, it's not even due to the rain. It's due to this freaking Hulk of a rugby player. He ends up getting tackled by him and getting hurt. So then the coach calls off the game because of the rain and it's like getting too dangerous. So after the game, Charlie is sent to the clinic and Nick goes to check on him. He's like, you know, I just want to check on you, see if you're okay. And during this, Charlie is so, I hate Ben because Ben has made Charlie so insecure or self-conscious of his behavior towards people he likes. So he's apologizing to Nick. He's,
I'm really sorry for being all clingy and annoying. I'm making this so awkward. You want to keep us a secret and I'm messing it up.
I'm the one who should be saying sorry.
and so Nick obviously feels guilty too because he feels like he can't, now that he's questioning his sexuality, he feels like he can't do anything towards or with, not with, but towards Charlie without seeming like, you know, like he may be like outing himself. Isaac is one of my favorite characters because he is just so unbothered by everything. So they're like kind of talking and looking at each other, and then Isaac walks in on them and they weren't even doing anything, but it was just kind of obvious that they were like kind of close to each other. And Isaac walks in and he's
Sorry for interrupting, but Miss Singh told me to give you some antiseptic wipes. Okay.
bro, every time I see that scene I have to rewind it because it's like, I think that's the funniest scene out of the whole season. Like Isaac is so Isaac is so funny, I can't. So then after the game, we see Imogen and Harry and their friend out in front of the boys' locker room, and Harry asks Imogen like,
Finally ready to make a move?
Just piss off, Harry.
Okay, fine. If you're going to be a coward about it.
so then Nick comes out and, you know, she's like, hey, like you were great during the game. He's like, yeah, like it was, you know, whatever. And then she asks him,
I wanted to ask you if, but maybe we could like go out somewhere together. Like I guess sort of a date.
everyone's watching him, like waiting for his answer, and you know, he's so like in his head, and he also cares about Imogen. Like they're still friends and he doesn't want to hurt her feelings, so everyone's watching him. Like Harry's watching him, his friends are watching him, so he feels the pressure to say yes, so he does. He says yes reluctantly. Before this, we see that Elle and Tao are above them, like on this like platform, so they overhear the whole thing, and now Elle and Tao are very confused as to why, like what Nick's intentions are with Charlie, which, you know, just puts Nick and Tao's even worse graces. Like Tao already didn't like him, and now he feels like that he's like playing with Charlie's feelings because he's like, he said yes to Imogen. So that's how episode 4 ends, with Imogen asking Nick out on a date. I'm really excited about season 3. I've seen some of the clips from it and I'm just like so excited to watch it, and it's gonna be quite impossible to avoid spoilers, especially on TikTok, because like, oh my god, that's all they're gonna be talking about, bro. But I'm also not gonna make the mistake of binge watching the entire season like I did with season 2. I don't know why I did that. I literally stayed up until 5 a.m. watching season 2. Like, I need to savor it. I don't know what made me do that. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this review. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment down below on what else you would like me to review, if there's any movies or TV shows you would like me to review. Also, please no spoilers about season 3 if you are gonna watch it or have already watched it. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!